Good morning and welcome back to This Week at the Creek. I'm JC Erickson, here to bring you the latest on Timber Creek news. For those checking into our mega live newscast, we are roughly 5 hours in and still going. On today, we'll start with our local weather forecast. On Wednesday, 36 major car accidents in Fort Worth occurred due to harsh weather conditions. Winter weather has returned to Fort Worth after being a westbound cold front entered Fort Worth overnight. On Interstate 30, a crash involving multiple 18-wheelers left 3 passengers with minor injuries. Interstate 35's expressways were closed, but I-35 remained open. Yesterday, Timber Creek High School was closed as freezing rain and ice had covered much of North Texas, leaving roads frozen once again as we endured freezing temperatures just a few weeks ago that closed schools and left roads icy. The winter weather was forecasted to last from Wednesday afternoon to Thursday evening. And today there will be a moderate weather averaging at about 40 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Seniors, it's your time to shine. Scholarships and prom are in your future. Keller Independent School District is offering scholarships to the graduating class. The Keller ISD Education Foundation Scholarship will award one $2,000 scholarship to each Keller ISD school. The Lifting As We Climb scholarship will give out a $1,000 scholarship for those who meet the minimum requirement of graduating from a Keller school and attending a historically black college. The application deadline will be March 5th, so hurry up. The long-awaited class of 2022 prom is coming up on May 21st. Prom tickets are on sale starting at $80 till February 28th. Prom will be held at the River Ranch Stockyards, debuting at Glitz and Glam theme. For seniors who want a friend to tag along, the minimum age requirement for guests is 9th grade and the maximum age is 20. For more information, you can check your Timber Creek Talon with the latest. The Timber Creek swim team made state last week. Stay tuned till the end of the live to watch their send-off. Timber Creek is still showing off the important figures in African American culture. We'll now take a look at the story.
Timber Creek History Club proudly recognizes Black History Month.
Ida B. Wells was an American investigative journalist and early leader in the civil rights movement. She was born into slavery and freed post-Civil War. After Wells had a friend murdered by lynching, she used her platform to highlight the racism, prejudice, and violence that Black Southerners faced on the daily. She was best known for her real-time reporting on the topic and her ability to keep reporting despite numerous threats. Ida B. Wells also actively fought against sexism and spent her entire life working for change. She became one of the founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Through her work, Wells became one of the most famous Black women in history.
Up next, we'll have national news with Ignacio Sosa, so stay tuned.
Starting today, February 14th to the 28th, tickets go on sale for prom. One ticket is $80, 2 tickets is $150, and a guest ticket is $80. March 1st to March 20th, one ticket is $90, 2 tickets is $180, and a guest ticket is $90. March 21st to April 15th, one ticket is $100, 2 tickets is $200, and a guest ticket is $100. The final sale is April 16th to April 30th. One ticket is $125, 2 tickets is $250, and a guest ticket is $125.
I'm Ignacio Sosa, here to give you the most recent events throughout the nation and some breaking news overseas. Yesterday, Russia declared war on Ukraine, attacking major cities and airports across Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin defended his declaration as a necessary measure, stating they created such a great risks in the security sphere that it was impossible to react with any other means. U.S. Joe Biden's approach to Russia's aggression has centered on deterrence as the White House begins to preserve sanctions against Russia's top banks to discourage any further escalation. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz calling the Russian invasion a forcible attempt to shift European borders. Scholz Scholz stated in a televised address to Germans that with the attack on Ukraine, President Putin wants to turn back time, but there is no going back to the 19th century when great powers decided over the heads of smaller states. Many Russians turned to protest against the war. Some Ukrainians have decided to flee in fear of the uprising. We'll now take a look at the scene.
У вас есть представление, куда вы едете?
На Западную Украину. Это пока.
Кто с вами сегодня?
Наш ребенок и вон еще два ребенка. Я боюсь остаться в месте, где русские оккупируют территорию. Я понимаю, что если я буду продвигаться на запад Украины, это не должно случиться сегодня или завтра. У меня есть время подумать. Потому что мне написано. Это страх за детей. Это большой стресс. Я не спала целую ночь, собирала вещи, потом мы ехали. И я стою здесь, и это уже очень долго.
Все нормально, їдемо на дачу. Ясногородка, 50 кілометрів, електромобіль, зарядка є, все хорошо. Утрочком в 4 утра поднялись, собрали все вещи, документы, все, и на дачу. Весь дом, у кому нет транспорта, убежище, а кто может, это мы добираемся подальше. Зачем этот Путин это делает? Украина победит. Все будет нормально, ну что делать?
Це Муркеша.
Кеша.
Хочу вивезти батьків, дружину, можливо повернутися, якщо буде на те необхідність. Ні, дуже була велика надія, що такого ніколи не відбудеться. Не дійдуть до столиці, проте, як показує практика, на жаль, зря сподівались. Я дуже надіюсь, що це не перетвориться на Третю світову, а якщо вона і буде, то дуже швидко закінчиться.
Within our own nation, trials and polices are also taking place. Former police officer Kim Potter, formerly known as Kimberly Potter, was sentenced to 2 years in prison for the shooting and killing of Dante Wright. Potter was given leniency due to the deemed accidental firing of her gun rather than her taser, stated Judge Regina Chu. Jurors convicted Potter on 2 counts of manslaughter in December of last year, stating that she had acted recklessly when drawing attention to her taser and firing her gun. Judge Chu, however, said the case was much different from most manslaughter cases, stating, "This is not a cop found guilty of murder for using his knee to pin down a person. This is a cop who made a tragic mistake." Mrs. Potter shared her remorse later on the stand. Mr. and Mrs. Wright, the parents of the victim, though Potter shared her remorse, the Wrights felt if justice was undone. Mr. Wright stated they were so tied up into her feelings, they forgot about my son being killed, in reference to Potter's 2-year sentencing. Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs was found dead in a South Lake hotel in 2019. The ongoing investigation of his assumed self-inflicted drug overdose now focuses on Eric Kay, a communications director for the Angels who is now standing trial. Kay was prosecuted for allegedly disguising fentanyl pills to look like Oxidon, which presumably killed Skaggs when mixed with alcohol. During the trial, discussions of the increasing opioid addiction in the area was inflicted on Kay's as well. Kay's lawyer, Reagan Wayne, suggested that the pills given to Skaggs may have been provided by another teammate, Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey, known for his active nightlife, testified on Tuesday, February 15th in exchange for immunity as Harvey later discussed his cocaine addiction and the use of drugs in Major League Baseball, stating, in baseball, you do everything you can to stay on the field. At the time, I felt as a teammate, I was just helping him get through whatever he needed to get through. In Seattle, home to the largest population of bike riders, a decades-old regulation has been repealed by officials due to its discriminatory enforcement against homeless people and people of color. Last Thursday, King County Board of Health voted to revoke the requirement for all bike riders to wear a helmet due to the increasing awareness of tension between authorities and minorities. Official King Council member Jeremy Ziley stated the question before us was whether a helmet law that's enforced by police on balance produces results that outweigh the harm that the law creates, but this isn't the first time a repeal has happened like this before. The city of Tacoma in Washington repealed its helmet requirement in 2020, having similar concerns as did Dallas in 2014. For those 18 and older, King County now makes racial justice reform a priority. As the King County Health Board declared racism a public health crisis just a few years ago in 2020, Ziley shared his thoughts, stating, we have to have a broad view of public health. We have to think about the impact on our criminal legal systems. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ignacio Sosa, and that was National News. Coming up after the break is international entertainment news with Dalton Pastorius.
Hi, I'm Dalton Pastorius, and here's your weekly dose of entertainment news. First up, the Kanye and Pete beef, the famous rapper and fashion designer, recently aimed at Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson for their Saturday Night Live romance as they portrayed Jasmine and Aladdin from the popular Disney movie. In recent months, West has been pursuing model and actress Julia Fox, who in recent Page Six story told her and West were no longer together. Though West had seemed to move on from Miss Kardashian, he still seems to be strong-hearted about his now ex-wife, as Kim Kardashian had filed for divorce in February of last year against West, after their 7-year marriage. West expressed openly that he wanted to continue pursuing Miss Kardashian. West later apologized for his post and remarks against the two. Billie Eilish just debuted her latest album, Happier Than Ever. On her 2022 world tour, the term happier than ever stemmed from Eilish's stylistic transformation, dyeing her hair bombshell blonde and fitting clothes. It is notable that her ditched the bright blonde for her traditionally inked hair and baggy silhouette for her eventful night. The night ended without an encore on the explosive note, as Eilish wisely saved the best song for last, the song Happier Than Ever. The most dramatic in the playlist was strummed on a ukulele, which added to the dreamlike effect. On even more of a piercing moment came during a much quieter song as Eilish sang her album's opener, Getting Older. A montage of childhood videos played led to an emotional moment. Later, Eilish spoke to audience stating, "You all just saw me cry. That's embarrassing." Now for the real question, Jacob Edward or Batman? Robert Pattinson, most famously known from playing Edward from the vampire series Twilight, has now taken on the role of yet another Bat. Batman is planned to be in theaters March 4th, 2022, so go check it out. On another note, the Netflix limited series Inventing Anna shares the story of Anna Sorgen, a young con artist back in 2017, portrayed as a German heiress who went on the name of Anna Delivery. Sorkin was arrested back in 2017 for bilking banks and failing to make payments at hotels. She was released back in February of 2021. And now her story's trending on Netflix, so go check her story. I'm Dalton Pastorius, and that was the latest and most famous. Stay tuned for sports with Alexis Collins.
Yeah, that's that dirty.
Collins with sports news. On Wednesday night, Providence, Rhode Island, and Xavier Cincinnati men's basketball team went up against each other. Providence won with 99-92. With only 31 seconds left on the clock, Providence's Jared Bynum beat Xavier's team with a three-pointer. Providence took a big step towards winning its first regular season Big East title. On the other hand, Xavier entered the game as a National Collegiate Athletic Association tournament team, despite their fifth loss in 6 games. The game did encounter weather problems as water on the roof was believed to have leaked through the ceiling onto the court. Providence took the circumstances as an opportunity to win. As Providence coach Ed Cooley stated, "Whatever it was, it worked." U.S. women's soccer team had been fighting for equal pay over the span of 6 years. But 6-year struggle ended this Tuesday as they settled with a multi-million-dollar payment to their players and promised by their federation to equalize pay between men and women's national soccer teams. Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick started a new group that offers free autopsies for families of people who died under police-related circumstances. A certified autopsy can be costly, averaging at about $5,000, which can leave some to rely on autopsies conducted by a coroner. But some argue that forensic pathology is not an exact science and leaves inadequate opinions and bias. Dr. Cyril waded back in the argument, saying that there is a deep-seated subconscious bias, and in some instances, a conscious bias. In a much higher note, the Timber Creek swim team has made a state last week as boys 1-meter dive. Mac Malloy made 9th place, and Sienna Muhich made 6th in the girls' 500-yard free swim. Congratulations, swim. We'll now take a look at their send-off. Thanks for tuning in on Sports News. We'll go back to JC after the break. We'd like to say congratulations to Teacher of the Year, Jared Swart. Take a look. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show and keep watching for a mega live newscast. Bye!